Hi, I'm Simon, aka the Ledbury Poacher. It's early February, so I thought it would be a good time to introduce you to my English smallholding in Herefordshire. The year's just getting going, so let's go and have a look around. So we're just walking down here to the top field. We have some paying guests in here at the moment in the form of this flock of sheep. They belong to a local shepherd, but she likes to bring them down off the hills in the winter. It's a bit warmer, it's a bit drier, it's a bit more friendly for them. A lot of these girls are in lamb, and they'll be lambing very soon. They actually won't be in this field for very much longer. They will go off to the lambing sheds where they can give birth to their young safely. Hello darling, how are you? They've been with us probably a month or so. They seem very happy. They've totally grazed off the bottom field, which is much bigger than this one. So there's not much left for them to graze off now, and as I say, very soon they'll be off to the lambing sheds to do what they do best and be good mothers. So we can see this one here. It's got a number 3 on her back, and that means she'll be having triplets, won't you, darling? You'll be having triplets very soon. I'm sure you'll be a perfect mother. So this is the bottom field. There's a couple of acres in here. This is where the sheep have been living actually, mainly for the past month or so. As you can see, they've really grazed it off. And this is where we raised our 2 Oxford Sandy and Black pigs last year. It was really our first experience of having proper farm animals. So when we first got the pigs, they were only about 8 weeks old, I think. We brought them home in a dog crate in the back of the car. They were really small. They settled in really well, aided and abetted by my daughter, as you can see here, who loved playing tag with them. But yeah, they settled really well into this patch of ground that we gave them, and they absolutely thrived. And then, of course, when they were 9 months old, we came to the point where we had to say goodbye to them. They were slaughtered and butchered really humanely by a small family abattoir not too far from us. And you know, the saying goes that you get to love your animals twice. And actually, this afternoon we've got neighbours coming round, and as I speak, I've got a very large joint of pork in the oven that's been cooking to a Nigella Lawson recipe. So it's in there with black treacle, and you basically roast it for 24 hours, and it's absolutely delicious. So you know, it was a bit of a wrench actually, because I did become very fond of the pigs. I really like them. Great characters, beautiful animals, especially the rare breeds, the Oxford Sandy and Blacks. So we may do that again at one point, but at the moment we've got 3 freezers full of pork, so not for a while. One of the real joys of our first year here was learning to keep bees. Again, never done it before, but it's something I always wanted to do. So I joined the local beekeeping association, did a course, and then in the spring I got brave, got my first colony, first hive, which was this one. As you can see, number 1 on it. There's no activity at the moment. It's far too cold. It's only about 3 degrees out here. So the bees will all be in a ball in the centre of the hive, and their only priority at this time of year is to keep warm and to keep eating. So we have to feed them at this time of year, because obviously we took some of the honey off. So yeah, keeping the bees was one of the great joys of last year, really, our first year on the smallholding. A huge amount to learn, so many mistakes to make, and I made a few, but had a lot of success as well actually. I really didn't think we'd get any honey at all in the first year. There was one point where the only hive I had at the time was about to swarm, which would have meant I would have lost half my bees. and half of the potential honey production. But again, with the knowledge I gained, so generously shared by the people in the beekeeping association that I joined, I managed to do a successful hive split, which is a method of swarm prevention. So in one afternoon, I doubled the number of hives, and that's the thing with beekeeping, you can double your number of hives again and again, so the numbers grow quite quickly. I've got 3 now. I expect to get to 6 this year, and you can see how that number can rise exponentially, but I can't really afford beekeeping to become a full-time job, much as I'd like it. So yeah, managing the hive numbers as they grow will be one of the challenges, but it's a great joy. And if you have ever thought about it and you have the opportunity, I would say do it, because there will be a beekeeping association near you. The people will be incredibly friendly, willing to share their knowledge, and it's something that brings me a lot of pleasure, especially when I spread the gorgeous honey on a piece of toast. So as we get into the smallholding year, the list of jobs is growing incredibly quickly. One of the jobs we have, which is hopefully going to happen in the next week, is to try and get this hazel hedge back in order. You can see it was trimmed a few years back, about 3 metres high, but it's shot up, and we have some power lines above here, and it's almost touching the power lines. But also it takes a lot of light from this field, so I'm going to coppice it and pull it right back almost to the ground, and then hopefully in a year or 2 we'll lay the hedge, and it'll be in much better shape for many years to come. Some of the fencing leaves a lot to be desired. I'm amazed with the state of it, that it's kept the sheep in, but they're all still here. We've counted them almost every day, and we haven't lost any yet. And then last but not least, we've got the chickens. These girls were the first to arrive. We had actually had chickens before in our suburban garden. So we, hello girls. So we had some idea of what we were doing with these. And it's been lovely to have them around. And of course the fresh eggs are absolutely wonderful and will beat anything you will ever buy in a supermarket. So yeah, it's been lovely to have those. And here they are, enjoying a breakfast of chips from last night's fish and chip treat. So that's just a quick introduction to our small holding. As I said, it's the start of the year. I'll keep you updated. Like, subscribe, all that stuff you do below. I'll have to learn what you're supposed to say at this point. And we'll see you again and update you throughout the year.